Hey everyone, it's Cassandra, and I want to introduce you to my better half, Seancito.
Hola.
I decided to do a video um, about something that has been kind of circulating the air. It seems like because everybody seems to have the same issue, and everyone is breaking up. Me and him have been together for 2.5 years. It'll be 3 in May, and everything's going really good. So, yeah, people always see us as the happy couple, and it's sad when some of our close friends are breaking up, and we're like, why? Why is this happening? But it always seems to be the same thing, which is
Not being satisfied, I think.
yeah, it's not finding the person you want. You're marrying them or you're with them or whatever for the wrong reasons. And maybe it's because you feel comfortable with that person. Maybe it's because you have a lot of history with them. And so you think, hey, I might as well marry this person, or I might as well be with this person or have kids with this person because they know me, I know them, blase, blase. Only to find out later on down the line when it's too late, almost, is that they're not what you want. So that leads to a plethora of situations like infidelity or just being depressed, fighting, all that good stuff. So why is this happening? Why do you think this is happening? Why do you think people get so comfortable and are afraid of change?
Because I think in relationships we all seek comfort. I think when you're dating, that it's not comfort in dating. So you're looking for that man or woman that can make you feel comfortable in your own skin.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, one date turns into 2 months, turns into 3 years. And yet you might not be totally satisfied with that person, but you will maintain a relationship because of the comfort of the relationship. And you might as well get married if you've been together for a couple of years. So
Mm-hmm.
once you get married, then comes the kids, and then comes the depression.
It's true, but a lot of people, like, for example, in your past relationships, you've dated someone who was the complete opposite, and you always thought opposites attract. Same thing with me. In my past marriage, I dated someone who was complete opposite of me, and I even asked myself, why am I with this person? They're so different. People would ask me, wow, I never thought I would see you with this type of person because y'all are totally different. But I was just like, well, that's just us. We're just we make it work. But I was just disillusional, I think. And it's just sad because people want to be happy. And, for example, a lot of people say Facebook is the devil. Well, it can be, because especially like what you said, Facebook is like a big ass club online. And so I always tell, me and Sean always talk about this, that it's like a huge competition out there. And even though you're in a relationship, you still need to have the mindset that you are in competition with everyone else in the world. And it's and I also believe that you need to compete with yourself, and just always strive to be better, do better, and always top yourself, which you're really good at. And
Thank you.
it's just sad. I hate to see that. I hate to see when people have to break up because they suddenly wake up and realize this isn't the person that I want to be with. And it's really difficult, especially when you have kids.
See, I think what's happening a lot, I think men are doing more compromising than women. I think that the roles have reversed in probably the past 15 years. I think back in the day, in the 60s and the 70s, women were compromising. Totally compromising. They were dealing with all kinds of issues from pre-women's lib to just the way they were seen, just entering the workforce and, trying to, prove themselves as being equal to a man, to the point now where it's the man that's doing the compromising. A lot of men are losing their jobs in the workplace. There are way more females that are graduating with college degrees nowadays. So women have increased their natural financial basis, and men are there's a lot more stay-at-home dads. There are a lot of men that can't afford to take their woman out. So now they're doing a lot more compromising, and it's just not the dichotomy of a relationship is totally changed, and it's not that it doesn't work, but it's going to take a lot of compromise from both sides in order to make it work. Because
Yeah.
if your wife makes six figures and you make $50,000, she's going to have to realize that she is the breadwinner, but that doesn't mean that she has to run you, and that doesn't mean you have to run her just to show her I'm still the man in this house. I think it all goes back to being on equal, on an equal playing field. And if you don't have that, then you'll start resenting that person. You'll start like, holding those feelings back, and then before you know it, you're up in a strip club and you're in love with a woman named Jasmine, and you can't realize why, and it's really not. It's not anything you can say or do by that point.
Well, I think the main thing to remember that we're not trying to tell you just if you're not happy, break up and leave. But if you're not happy, like really dig down deep and ask yourself why, and start with yourself. Is it because you're not happy with yourself? Is it something you can do? If you feel like you're doing everything and you've exhausted all options and whatever, and the person you come to, your loved one, your significant other, and you tell them your problem, and if they're understanding, if they really love you and they really want to make it work, they will make the necessary changes and work with you. If not, tell them to kick rocks. That's just me.
Really, I think my advice, because I never tell any of my friends to get divorced or to leave their mate. The first thing I say is make yourself happy. And a lot of people misdiagnose what that means. Making yourself happy is not a selfish way of making yourself happy. The only way to truly be happy with yourself is to be honest with yourself. If you are truly not in love with your mate, you need to really diagnose why you're not. If you're not in love with her because you have a fine coworker, then maybe it's because of the coworker. Think about this. If you hadn't met that coworker, would you actually be dissatisfied with your mate? You really have to think about that, because a lot of people will find a reason to break up with someone or to divorce a person.
That's true. Especially when they find their dream girl or their dream guy, they start picking at their significant other and nitpicking them like, wait a minute. As a matter of fact, you don't have what old boy over here has. He arches his eyebrows. He he blows his nose 3 times a day. It doesn't matter. It's just like people nitpick and find excuses, and a lot of times they try to hide their own insecurities by searching for something that's like a temporary fix to make them feel a certain way. And then when you do that, you lose sight of what you have at home, and you lose sight of the good things you do have. But I guess it's just go make yourself happy. You know what I mean? A lot of people stay for the kids. And don't you see these kids seeing you depressed, and moping around and arguing all the time? When you think they're asleep, they're not. Because we have a 3-year-old who gets up in the middle of the night and sleeps by the door sometimes. So you may have the same kid, and then she'll go back to sleep. We'll never know. You know what I mean? So it's just like when you think your kids aren't around and they aren't watching and they don't know what's going on, they really do. So just make yourself happy. Find your happiness. Don't depend on other people to necessarily make you happy and give you that happiness that you may be missing within yourself. So.
And don't marry a scratch-off ticket. Don't.
Right.
Because one of our good friends always used to say that she feels that she's a lottery ticket, and she felt like she married a scratch-off ticket. And so if you don't feel like you're marrying somebody that's on your same level as far as potential, as far as motivation, as far as sexiness, as far as ambition, then you don't need to be with that person. You need somebody. You can't be with a JV person if you're varsity. They can't make you better in life.
It's true.
And so if you can't be with somebody that will make you want to strive to be better in all aspects of life, then they won't improve your life. Therefore, you shouldn't spend the rest of your life with that person.
Right. That's our 2 cents.